Hampton Beatles fan flips George Harrison's childhood home in Liverpool to Airbnb. The late Beatles legend George Harrison's former home at 25 Upton Green in Speke, Liverpool now belongs to a Hampton guy, not from England, but from New Hampshire. I never imagined myself being in the Beatles industry, if you will, Ken Lambert, who lives on Alexander Drive, said. He bought the old Harrison home on a whim last November in an online auction, and he has since been prepping it as an Airbnb rental for fans looking to spend the night where the Beatles rehearsed in their younger days. Ken Lambert of Hampton has purchased George Harrison's of the Beatles' former Liverpool home on Wednesday, April 6, 2022. Lambert holds some of his favorite vinyls at his Hampton home. Let's take a dig at how Lambert bought the house at auction. In November, Lambert was scrolling through his news feed when he came across an article stating that Harrison's boyhood home would be put up for auction. Out of pure curiosity, he investigated the online offerings of the auction, Business Omega Auction. Lambert stated, "I looked at it, then put it away and didn't think about it again." After that, he discovered that the online auction was going to begin on November 30th. The day prior, he had a compulsion to pre-register for the event. He remarked, "I woke up the next morning and made the decision to place a bid on it, and I won." Ken Lambert has a piece of the original trim that was used in the Upton Green residence in his possession. Since then, Lambert has traveled to Liverpool to prepare the house for its future use as a rental property. While he is in the United States, he is working closely with a property manager who is responsible for watching over the house. When he first arrived, the house was completely empty. There wasn't even a refrigerator to be found inside. Lambert stated, "I had a lot of things to accomplish, as well as to purchase, bringing back the original splendor of the home." Lambert's online site lists the home for rent at $210 per night. The listing exclaims, "Beatles and George Harrison superfans, there's a lot to do in Liverpool to get a taste of the Beatles, but nothing quite like this." Harrison and his family stayed in the house from the time he was 6 years old until 1962. Lambert claims that the band rehearsed in the front room and bedroom, first as the Quarrymen and subsequently as the Beatles. Lambert paid €171,000, roughly $223,000 for the house. It appeared to be a little purchase for a piece of Beatles love, which was essential for just a normal person with a family and a mortgage, as he characterized himself. "I needed to make sure it was reasonable," Lambert explained. "I didn't think it was a ridiculous number, and I'm a big Beatles fan." The residence has now been transformed into a living museum by allowing people to stay overnight, with the new landlord stating that a weekly tour group also drops by and spends around half an hour in the home drinking tea and playing music. "I'm not a wealthy person. I don't go about buying up properties. I'm a Beatles fan certainly, but I'm really a George Harrison lover," Lambert told the New York Post. "I think it's a shame that George's house has no relevance to millions of Beatles fans, yet they're lined up to walk inside John Lennon's house. George is my favorite Beatles member. I want to honor his memory," he added. So what would you have done if you had bought George Harrison's property at auction? Or any of the other Beatles houses? Share your creativity with us in the comments section below. Guests may walk in and stay in George's bedroom, where he first heard himself in the band on the radio, pluck a guitar in the same room where George, Paul, and John sat and practiced during the early years, according to the Airbnb website. The bathtub has also original taps from where George resided in the house. The property sleeps 5 people and costs roughly $200 per night to stay. though there is a 2-night minimum. Lambert claimed that he fell in love with the Beatles in college. As a fan, you would have to have a favorite, and he always chose George, who was lesser known than Paul McCartney and John Lennon, but was responsible for some of the band's greatest tunes, such as Something and While My Guitar Gently Weeps. Lambert's favorite album from Harrison's solo output is 1970's All Things Must Pass, whose 50th anniversary version was honored this week with a Grammy for Best Boxed or Special Limited Edition package. Lambert has slightly weathered original print copy of the record from when it first published. George has always been one of my all-time favorite artists, Lambert stated. Lambert focused on English living rooms. He created Harrison's home furnishings and walls using old photos. A Beatles record player was in the corner, and he left an acoustic guitar on a stand. "I wanted to do it for myself," Lambert said. "That was incredibly interesting for people to experience." Beatles fans may rent the property where George Harrison grew up on Airbnb. In addition, Lambert discovered that the attic still contained a sizable amount of the house's original trim, consisting of outdated baseboards and door frames that have been replaced in recent years. In order to bring a memento of his trip back to Hampton, he purchased a handsaw for $10 and cut a piece out of the old door frame. The doors to George's house were opened to the public by Lambert, who stated that he is the third owner of the property since the Harrison family moved out and the first person to use the house as a tourist attraction. So what are your thoughts on today's video? Please let us know in the comment section below. And if you haven't done so already, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our incredible videos. Keep an eye out for the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.